This happens to me like every year. It's a day or two before Lent. I've been busy with work, family, and friends when suddenly I realize I have no idea what I'm doing for Lent this year. In that moment of panic, I usually pick something extreme like fasting from meat or coffee for all of Lent and adding an extra hour of prayer a day. But by Friday, life happens. The baby doesn't get to sleep, work gets stressful, and I don't end up doing my disciplines. And then I feel like I failed and I feel less motivated to stay committed. Today, I'm going to share with you how I'm preparing to kick Lent off on the right foot this year. I've realized that as a dad, my example is integral to the growth of my child's faith life. And if I want her to grow up in the faith, I have to model it for her. So today, I'm going to share with you my game plan that is intentional, vocal, and resilient in the hope that we can all make the most out of Lent this year. Be sure to watch till the end of the video where I'll share a few Lenten observance ideas for people with busy schedules. Let's dive in. The first step in my preparation is going to be a strategic plan. I've realized that if I treat Lent like a vague New Year's resolution, I'm going to work out more this year, then I'm going to fail at it. As a dad, if I don't schedule it, it just doesn't happen. So I'm making a commitment now, a week in advance, so that when Ash Wednesday arrives, I'm ready to get going. Now, if you have a family like me, you know how distracting home can be. Kids to play with, house projects to do, coffee to drink, food to eat. That's why I need to leave the house and go to a quiet place like Adoration and pray about what my observances will be. Writing down what I'm going to do is so important because it gives me clarity. It moves my plan from a passing thought to an actual objective. Think of this like when a contractor comes to your house to do a project on your house. You might talk to him about the new door that you want or the new patio you want put in. And when you're talking about it, it sounds like a good idea. But once he starts writing up a contract for what you're going to do, now it feels tangible. Now it feels like this is what we're going to do. Writing it down also gives you a reality check. When you look at a piece of paper and you see a list of 20 items that you want to do on a daily basis in addition to your regular workload and family life, then you know this is probably a bit too much. I'm going to set myself up for a crash if I try taking on all of these things. And lastly, writing them down is going to be a measuring stick. If I'm halfway through Lent and I want to see how I'm doing, I can look back at the observances that I wrote down and say, how am I doing against what I set out to do? This is a great way of holding yourself accountable. Now, something that you don't have to do, but is definitely beneficial, is writing down a why. This is straight from Exodus 90. Difficult things are never done by people who don't know the benefit of the difficult thing that they're doing. And this is a perfect opportunity while in adoration to ask yourself, why am I doing these Lenten observances? A good answer is not because the Catholic Church says to, but a good answer is going to make all the difference in the world when you're looking at those freshly baked chocolate chip cookies you swore off 35 days ago. The second step in my preparation is making a vocal commitment. I have a tendency, like I'm sure a lot of us do, to think that I can do everything on my own. But the reality is I can't. I need people holding me accountable to the commitments that I make in my life. So that's why I'm taking my written list and I'm making a verbal commitment to my wife. Think of this like signing that contract we were talking about earlier. My wife is my teammate. If I decide to give up meat or coffee, I need to tell her. And it's not just for accountability, it's for charity. If my penance is making me miserable and giving me headaches and changing our evening routine, she deserves to know why. Plus, to be honest, if I tell her that I'm going to do something, then my male pride is going to help me to actually do what I said that I'm going to do. And the last step is just doing what we say that we're going to do. But that's a lot harder than it sounds. Do you know that only 10% of people actually stick to their New Year's resolutions? That's because staying true to this life-changing thing that you're trying to do is difficult over the course of time. And a lot of that comes down to the all or nothing trap. My tendency, and I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way, is that if I miss a new commitment in my life because my toddler had a blowout or I had to stay late at a meeting or something like that, I'm going to feel like my streak is broken. And then I feel like, well, I already messed up. Might as well give up and wait till next year to do it or wait till next week to do it. But this year, I'm reminding myself that Lent isn't about doing all of these observances perfectly. It's about recommitting to God every day, regardless of the struggle of it. As a young dad, when I watch my kid fail all the time at trying to do the right thing, I don't give up on her just because she failed one time. And I don't think God gives up on me just because I fail either. So I'm trying to teach my kids perseverance this year by practicing perseverance in my Lenten disciplines. If you're struggling to find a Lenten observance that fits into your crazy schedule, here's a couple examples that I think would work well. Spiritual reading before bedtime. In this case, don't pick up a massive textbook that you have to wonder every night, do I have to read 10 pages? How long is the chapter? Do I have the energy for this? Instead, just pick up a book like My Daily Bread, for example. A book with 1 to 2 page spiritual nuggets that can really shape perspective. The reason I recommend reading before bedtime is because it builds spiritual reading into your daily routine. You're always going to go to bed in a day, so just do this right before. Another option is the 3 o'clock reset. Set an alarm for 3 o'clock every day for the Divine Mercy Chaplet. It takes about 7 minutes, and it's a great way to get away from the workday stress and recenter before wanting to be present for your family after work. Just be careful with this one because it is a lot harder than it sounds, especially if you don't have a flexible work schedule. Another recommendation could be the Silent Commute. If you do the same commute every day, you probably throw on music or a podcast. But a silent commute could be a great way of praying more or just spending some more time in silent thought. The Lord speaks to us in silence, so if you don't have much silence in your day, this could be a game changer for your relationship with the Lord. Another good one is coffee break. This is actually one I'm going to do this year. I have an espresso machine at home, and so I'm going to give it up for Lent and go back to just black coffee. This is a great way for me personally to practice self-control with earthly goods. If my strategy for this year resonates with you, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. I'm working to build a community here of men who are serious about their faith and their roles as fathers. And your subscribing will help convince the YouTube algorithm that Catholicism, fatherhood, and masculinity are relevant and necessary on YouTube. I'd love to hear from you in the comments too. What's your number one trick for sticking to your Lenten observances? I'll be down there responding and praying for you guys. Let's lead our families towards Easter with strength. I'll see you in the next one. God bless.